Good morning. It is the 4th of November, Friday, and of course the all-important non-farm payrolls release date, the unemployment rate, US unemployment rate, the first Friday of every month. So just going over to Forex Factory here, we have 8:30 a.m. Eastern time. It's in 9 minutes. We have our unemployment rate release, which is one of the most significant news releases of each month, and basically tells us what the US employment situation is, massive effect on the economy, and obviously the stock market, and GDP, all that jazz. So that's major news today. We have a lesser impact news release at 10 a.m. But this is where all the madness is going to happen, if it happens, and that is at 8:30. So in 8 minutes time. I'm just doing a quick analysis prior to the NFP release now. For this Friday morning, we have the daily. Just looking at the daily. Okay. We are in this overall bear trend. Okay, we've had this climb over the past week or so, 2 weeks, sorry, and then we had a sell-off beginning a couple of days ago, and looking like it peaked on at FOMC yesterday. So we can see here that this was FOMC yesterday. 2 days ago. At 2 p.m. we have this spike into supply liquidity and then a smash to the downside. So that there is on the 4 hour, and that was FOMC, and we can see that from just what it looks like it's coming back down. It's easy enough just to say that, but when it's in a significant spot like this, and we've had such a steep climb, it's warranted to suggest that the downside momentum is going to return like that. So we've reached this area, and it kind of looks like we are now going to be going back down to the downside, going to the 1 hour time frame, watching how price has climbed through this floor in the past 2 weeks. Flew up these floors. We're now turning them back into supply zones and demand. This was my prediction yesterday, that it would climb up to 32,500 1 hour supply. The yellow line here is the NFP release in 5 minutes. But yeah, we can see that we did have some buyback at a bit of a deeper sell, and then we had some buyback up here to this area. So that is like that there, 32,400, 32,500 1 hour supply ish. That's the area. Now, what is going to happen at NFP is the question. We learned from FOMC that when we have a downtrend, or we have price going to the downside, we can tend to have like some buying at the beginning and then a rip to the downside, and that is a classic money transfer play, a manipulation of the market, whatever you want to call it. Basically, price will buy up, get all of the short-term unsophisticated buyers in, and then rip everybody to the downside. So when we look at this right now, we are in a situation where that may occur again. We've definitely had a break of structure on the 1 hour here, so we've had price come up through this channel that's been holding for the past 2 weeks. Had a break of structure here. Okay, break of structure, and now we look like we're channeling a bit. I would not be surprised if we had a little bit more of a buy up in 5 minutes and then a smash to the downside. However, if we go down to the 1 minute time frame, we can see that we have had price reach this major area of supply on the 1 minute. Okay, supply being here, this red box. Price has, that's my journal there from yesterday. Price has throughout the London session bought back up. Let's take our session times off here. Has bought back up to that area, and now we have major supply sitting there, and our demand zone here. If we clone that, we've got another demand zone at 3,200 here. So NFP coming out, we are in what looks like a downtrend, okay, on the 1 hour. You can decide to draw a kind of, bear channel there. Let's look at that for a base. Okay, that kind of thing happening. This could be our new channel ish, okay, to continue smashing down to the downside here like this. They say that the bull goes up the stairs and the bear goes out the window. This could collapse real hard, real quick. So we are now looking at what is occurring here live. It's 3 minutes to the NFP release. Look, at the moment, from what I'm seeing, we generally have a smash down before a strong rise to the upside. So looking at this now, I predict that we may have a bit more of a deeper drive and then a return to the upside. I'm going to pause this and just wait for the release in 3 minutes. Okay, just resuming here. We have NFP about to release in a minute. I want to show you what happens live here. I'm not trading it, but we're just going to watch live right now. We have our demand here. We have our supply here. It looks to me like it could really go either way at the moment. We had our peak here. It could just collapse. I mean, it could shoot up here, lick in here, and then collapse to the downside. So I put some possible plays here. It could come up like this, and then smash down like that, or it could smash down like this to here. If it was a bullish NFP, and then come up like that. Oh, there we go. Look at that. Just straight up. Collapses down. This is why we don't trade news, okay? I'm going to take the view off here now, off the session time, so we can actually see what the candle's doing. You know, when we're leveraged, I'm getting trades on right now. Like, even if we have a trade in, a buy-in, for example, and it was to move, say our stop loss for whatever reason was there, or say we had, let's say we had say we had a buy here and a stop loss here. If price moved from there, this area here, I'll put it in for an example. Like, if we had that as our order, the price would not, the trade would not lose at where our stop loss is. It would lose here because it's due to a thing called slippage. The movement of price would be so dramatic in that 1 second that the order would get filled at the bottom here, not here, if that was hypothetically a trade with a stop loss. So that's why we stay out of it. The prop firms don't allow us to trade around news anyway. And also we've got no logic, we've got no like calmness, we've got no predictability. We don't know what's happening right now. So just to be mindful of staying out of news and letting news tell us what it's doing, as opposed to trying to predict what the market's going to do. Like right now, I've got no idea what's happening. I would say that we'd be more skewed to the possible, continuation to the downside, because that's how price looks at the moment. But we could still have a double top, so we could have buying all the way up to here before this resultant collapse, right? So right now, sitting on the hands, we've had a smash down outside of the river. To me right now, it kind of looks like this kind of action is happening. So is that smash down and then maybe this buying up, for the rest of the session before we get a double top in, and then a resumption of the downtrend next week. But yeah, definitely that dip here into liquidity, right, beneath demand at 3,200, and then a smash back to the upside. Anyway, not something that I'm going to be looking at to trade today, but I thought I would do an analysis for anyone who just wants to, obviously, my team to watch. And yeah, I'm not putting any high probability trades on today because I don't know what it's doing. We'll check back later. Cheers.